My name is Michael, and I'm Danish. Although I live in San Francisco, which is where Heroku is headquartered. So I don't know, James obviously knows Heroku. Do other people know it? It's like a cloud computing platform as a service. So if you're a developer, you give us your code, and then we run and scale it to a very large scale. So next weekend, for example, is Super Bowl weekend in the US, and I know that several sites are going to be several of the sites that are going to be featured in the ads are going to be running on Heroku, so we are hunkering down for extra traffic, but we'll handle it. Otherwise, like, this is not a marketing talk. In fact, I was kind of scared when James tweeted that I was going to be giving this talk, because then the Salesforce marketing people kind of found out and they got excited, and I didn't really want that. If anything, this is going to be a marketing talk about for Microsoft. I'm going to be talking about .NET and ASP.NET, and I'll tell you why a little later. Which, in fact, isn't really supported by Heroku right now. So there. Yeah, just a disclaimer. Just like Andreas and Martin, I don't want to be stereotyping, and I'm a subject of the Jantelov also. So I, in fact, don't think I'm anything special, because I'm from the Nordics, and I don't think Danes are particularly special either. But in the spirit of the conference, I'll play along and try to kind of distill some values out of Danishness and Nordicness, and see how that might have applied to .NET. Anyway, why am I talking about .NET in a conference when the theme is Nordic craft and tech? So it turns out that Anders Heilsberg, who's the principal architect for C#, the main .NET programming language, he's Danish. And the current program manager at Microsoft for the C# language is also Danish. His name is Mads. They both live and work in Seattle, but they're from Denmark. So that was kind of the and so why am I talking about .NET? So I've been a C# programmer for 10 years. I don't really program day-to-day anymore, but that's how I started my career. Also, 4 years ago, I co-founded a company called AppHopper, which was, or is, a .NET cloud computing platform, kind of like Heroku, just for .NET. So we went right up against Microsoft Azure and tried to build them out of the water. That didn't really pan out. So now I just have a regular old job at Heroku. I also maintain an unofficial .NET build pack for Heroku. So .NET is not supported on Heroku, but it does actually run. And I maintain some Docker images that should run modern.NET in Docker. Yeah, I think it's been mentioned several times. Actually, like a lot of frameworks and programming languages have been designed by people from the Nordics, and especially so Denmark. So I'm just going to take you through some of the heroes from Denmark. So this is Peter Nauer. He designed a programming language called Algol 60 in 1960. This picture is actually from 1968, and I think this is what our multi-monitor setup looked like in 1968. So he's probably programming away. He got the Turing Award in 2005 for his design work. And Algol 60 is actually kind of the first kind of C-style imperative programming language. So he got that whole thing started. This is Bjarne Storstrup. He designed C++, also a Dane. Now lives in Texas. So this is Lars Bak. He wrote the V8 JavaScript engine, so basically the thing that runs JavaScript in your Chrome browser. It's also the JavaScript engine that powers Node.js. Also, he still lives in Denmark, but works for Google. DHH, obviously, the guy who designed Ruby on Rails. He lives in Chicago. This is Rasmus Lerov, the guy who designed PHP. So actually interesting, he was born in Greenland, which is also in the Nordics. That's a Greenland flag up there. So maybe that's why PHP is so bad. I don't know. that was good. Anyhow, Greenland, while its own country, is still kind of a colony of Denmark, so we still lord it over them. Even though we lost Norway in 1814, as was detailed yesterday. And of course, first among equals in the pantheon of great Danish language designers, Anders Heilsberg, the guy who designed C#. And actually, before that, he built a bunch of compilers for Pascal and Turbo Pascal in Poland. Okay, so what is it about kind of .NET and Nordic culture? So several people already talked about this during the past 2 days. So to me, the Nordic societies are kind of characterized by being efficient, but also kind of boring, and like very consensual. Everybody's opinion is always heard and sought out, and then some sort of boring compromise is worked out, which then nobody can complain about because their opinion was heard. Also, Nordic societies are highly transparent. As we just said the previous talk, also in Denmark, like I'm scraping tax info for all Danish companies, for example. The government publishes this, so I can see for all companies in Denmark. I can go in on a government-run website and figure out how much tax they paid last year. Yeah, and so I think. And I don't know if it's because Mads and others are from Denmark, but I think you can see some of those same traits in .NET and the way it has evolved. So basically, they started with something that they knew worked, Java. C# is highly similar to Java, really, and also the whole execution engine is pretty similar to Java and the JVM. And then they've been evolving it carefully and gradually over the past 15 years, and been incorporating good ideas from other programming languages and just incorporate it in a nice way that works really well. And also, most recently, and the reason I want to get you excited about .NET is that they've open sourced the whole thing. So both the .NET framework libraries and the compiler and the whole language specification is now open source. And Microsoft is accepting pull requests on GitHub. And there's a public debate about what should happen to C# and programming and the standard libraries, which is pretty exciting. So Microsoft is now also being open and collaborative about .NET. Just some C# history. Like 2002, the language came out. It was pretty boring. It was just a normal object-oriented managed programming language. 2005, we got generics. Java had already had those for 2 years. Arguably, the .NET implementation was slightly better because the type information is actually handled by the VM, so it's slightly faster sometimes. 2007, we got var, which is implicitly typed variables. Super nice feature. So you don't have to type out what's the type of all your variables all the time. You just use var, and then the compiler figures out what's going on. We also got linked language integrated query. Again, like not a new feature. Python has great list comprehensions and had them before we got it in C#. But Anders managed to incorporate it into C# in a pretty good way. And implicit typing and type inference was well known from standard ML and other languages. 2010 we got dynamic, so you get to just pass around anything in methods. Kind of neat. I don't use it much. I like static typing. 2012 got async, kind of like Node. So I think Microsoft saw that asynchronous programming was becoming a big thing, and also incorporated that into C#. Works pretty well. Very seamless. And then in 2000, there's a new version coming out this year, and it's just really syntax sugar and some synthetic exception handling and other niceties. Kind of the grander .NET and ASP.NET history. ASP.NET came out in 2002, it wasn't very good. Like your standard late 90s, early 2000s bad web programming framework. Then Rails came out in 2004, and that was right around the time I started programming. And those were really tough years to be a .NET proponent, because everybody was basically telling you that Rails was awesome, and we only had ASP.NET, and it wasn't really awesome. But then luckily Microsoft saved us with ASP.NET release in 2007, and things got better. And we got Nougat in 2010, again, not a new concept. Ruby had Bundler for a while. It was the NPM package manager for Node.js. I don't know if that was out in 2010 actually, but I'm pretty sure Bundler was. And then Microsoft started open sourcing everything. First Nougat, MSE, and now the whole framework. And in 2015, the stuff that's going to come out is .NET is going to go cross-platform. It's going to run on Linux and OS X, and I'm going to show you in a bit. They're going to be supporting Postgres, and it's going to be awesome, I think. Anyway, the point I wanted to make about these things, none of it was innovative or new when it came out from Microsoft. It was just nicely incorporated into .NET and C#. In a way that was backwards compatible and people could adopt it pretty easily and know that it was going to be supported. People are really excited about the new open source stuff though, and this is what excitement looks like on GitHub. So .NET CoreFX, the repo, is that's where the open source .NET framework lives. And basically, so many people have forked it that GitHub cannot compute the network graph. And it's just saying too many faults to display. So basically, people like me have been programming C# for ages, and we all have our own small pet peeves about like the regex library sucks. I'm gonna go fix it now, and then I'm gonna fork it on GitHub and set a pull request to Microsoft fixing this pet peeve I hadn't done that for years. There's been like this pent up demand to go change stuff in .NET, and it's pretty awesome. And Microsoft is actually they're taking it very seriously. It doesn't seem to be a sham or like a marketing stunt. So this is what happens to the pull requests. The good ones basically they have long meetings about them. They're called API reviews. So it's like 15 guys in Redmond, in Seattle, sitting around a conference table and debating pull requests coming off of GitHub and whether to adopt them or not. And it's I think it's pretty exciting. And there's like 70,000 people looking at these videos of Microsoft engineers debating changes to the regex libraries in .NET. So that's pretty cool. Yeah, I'm just going to do a few demos to show that it's not all bullshit. So this, can you make this work? Dale, great. Okay, so this is a OS X Mac. There's no Windows hidden in here. It's a normal Mac, but I installed Mono on it, which is open source .NET runtime. So if you know Yeoman, it's like a templating engine. Sorry. So I'm just going to yo me up and HP a bit at. So Yeoman is going to create a C application. It's too much. It's going to call the application Monki Gras. What? Just got called M, I'm sorry. My terminal is messed up because I resized it. So restore packages. This is NuGet doing its thing. I already have the packages on my machine, and now I can run a open source web server that works on OS X and Linux. Now we can see it booted up, so I can go into my browser and have a look at localhost. And that's basically ASP.NET running on a Mac with no problems. One funny thing is, so the Microsoft guys are now writing software for Linux, and they haven't quite figured out the signal handling. So I'm now controlling Control-C like a Mac, but it's not really turning off the web server. So they need to figure that out. I have to do this crazy kill command. So that's Microsoft programming for Unix. Anyhow, I can kind of go change the file. Let's see what's called index. Oops. Save that. And restart Kestrel. And actually, I don't have to restart. Kestrel is kind of neat. It works the way the development web servers for Ruby works. So I can just go change files, and the code is dynamically reloaded. It's much nicer in Visual Studio in some ways, where you like change something and then recompile, and you can go look at the changes. This is way neater. And like Somebody earlier today mentioned that no cloud computing presentation today is complete without Docker. So I'm going to show .NET running inside the Docker also. So music store, just clear this. Music store is the default ASP.NET kind of demo app. So what I did to this one is I added a Docker file. It's very simple. It's basically just saying use the Microsoft ASP.NET Docker image. So Microsoft is actually now publishing an official Docker image in the Docker registry, which is also kind of cool. So I can go build this with Docker build music store. But because it takes a while, I kind of pre-baked an image, and this term is inside of is in the Docker image, and I've mounted the music store source code. As you can see, it's running Linux. And I can do kcastrol to start up the server. This one is running in production mode, so it's going to send some more logging output. And I can access that. So this IP is what? Come on. So now if you hate .NET, you can kind of laugh at me. So I'm writing .NET and it's failing. Here we go. So this IP is the VM that runs my local Docker stuff. But again, this is the default. I've made no changes outside of adding the Docker file, and Microsoft made the default sample app work on Linux running inside of Docker. And yeah, it's happy and nice. And kind of finally, let's see. This even works on Heroku, actually. I have a Heroku remote, and I pushed it previously, so I'm just going to open the app. See what that looks like. So you can see this is something running on Heroku. It's just going to be booting up. And kind of the neat thing here is not that it's running on Heroku, it's that .NET is running on an open source, or on a platform as a service that's based on open source software, on Linux, Postgres, all the rest of the open source stack, and then it has .NET on top. This thing would just boot, come on. That's embarrassing. Please. Okay, maybe it's not working today. Sorry about that. Anyhow, that's it for the demos. So what? Can you turn this back on? So what does that mean, ASP.NET? Well, we basically now have a pretty good web stack that's backed by a modern programming language that's been gradually evolved over the past 15 years, and I'd argue better so than Java. It feels like a more modern programming language than Java right now. It runs on a mature and high-performance runtime that Microsoft is making cross-platform, so you can also run it on Linux and OS X. You still have Visual Studio, it's a pretty good IDE, but you can also use Emacs and Vim and Sublime, and people are building plugins so that you have a great experience building .NET in those editors also. And you can run it any way you want once the open source runtimes come up. And Microsoft seems to be doing a pretty earnest and good job about accepting pull requests and debating them publicly. So yeah, I'm excited. Let's see if Heroku got it running. Yeah, here it is. Yeah, so that was it for the talk. Hope you got a new appreciation for that.
Cool.